Dorian mode is just a special type of minor scale. Now, this is only one of many wrong interpretations you'll find on YouTube, but before we learn more about Dorian, here's a classic example of it in metal. Did you catch how unexpectedly bright that song feels for metal? Some harmonies just won't let it stay dark. Fittingly, of course, it's called Hidden Lights, maybe a nod to its brighter character, and that's because of Dorian. This mode blends minor and major harmonies, adding a touch of light to metal's typically dark sound. Hey metalheads, Aggro here, and to new viewers, welcome. I'm an MA music theoretician now pursuing my doctoral studies in music sciences. My goal? Sharing the knowledge and giving back to the metal family. So let's delve into Dorian mode in metal music. The Dorian mode belongs to the world of modal music, alongside Ionian, Phrygian, Lydian, and the other modes. To the opposite we have tonal music, which centers around major and minor. Well, these two systems can sometimes overlap, a concept I call latent modality. It's crucial to understand they are fundamentally different systems. By the way, latent modality is the exact title of my master's thesis. To better understand what I'm talking about, let's check out another example. But before we hear it, try thinking about this. What makes this track feel bright? What's the tone or harmony that gives it a lift? If you could point your finger and say, yeah, there, this is the tone, that would be great. So let's listen.
Think about it. Lately I've been skeptical, silent when I would used to speak. Miss them from all around me, who witness me fail and become weak. Life is overwhelming, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Did you get that tone?
Think about it. Lately I've been skeptical, silent when I would used to speak.
Alright, let's dismantle it. If we have a natural minor scale and raise the 6th degree, we get the Dorian scale. Let's hear how that sounds. Did you notice how changing just one tone transformed the minor scale, adding a sense of uplifting positivity? Now listen to the bass track from the previous example and I'll give you visual cues when the bass lands on that Dorian tone. With this bright sound you can't really score high in metal, but you can
Fucking subscribe!
Now let's break down some common misconceptions you may have come across online. The Dorian mode is not simply the second mode of the major scale. While some musicians rely on this overly simplistic explanation, it misses the bigger picture. Because modal music, including Dorian of course, existed for millennia before tonal music was established in the Baroque period of the 17th century. In reality, the major scale evolved from its predecessor, the Ionian mode, and not the other way around. So calling Dorian mode a part of a major scale is an oversimplification, more like a theoretical shortcut than an accurate historical perspective. Do you remember how I explained Dorian? Start with a natural minor scale and raise the 6th degree. That's the Dorian. That's the key takeaway. The Dorian sounds similar to minor because only one tone changes. And if you play the tonic triad, both minor and Dorian share the same minor chord. But here's the key difference. In a minor scale, the 4th degree subdominant triad is minor, while in Dorian, thanks to that raised 6th, the subdominant becomes major. And that's where the Dorian magic actually happens. for you who didn't understand this minor chord and the tonic, just watch my video on minor and it will clear everything up. Now let's get back to the Dorian with one more example.
Fire, no one could save me by.
There, you heard it? I think you're starting to get a good sense of the Dorian sound. But to fully understand this mode, we need to move on to chords, because the harmony is where the magic of Dorian actually happens. If you're in A minor, you start with a tonic chord, then moving to the fourth degree, A, B, C, D. You get a minor chord on the fourth. This is A minor. But in A Dorian, things shift slightly. The tonic chord is still minor, but when you move to the fourth degree, you get the major chord instead. This is the defining feature of Dorian, a major subdominant in contrast with a minor tonic. And every song I showcase by the end of this video will include this exact Dorian progression. To really capture the Dorian sound, you need to highlight the chord that features that raised 6, which is a part of the Dorian scale. The best choice? Well, the Dorian signature triad on the 4th degree. Play the 1st degree minor chord, follow it with a major triad on the 4th, and then return to the 1st. And there, you have the pure Dorian. Not convinced? Well, if you don't trust me, trust Ghost. You should trust Ghost, because if you have ghosts, while the direct progression between the tonic and the Dorian 4th immediately brings out the sound, you can also include some transitional chords between the two. Adding extra chords is totally fine as long as you land on the Dorian 4th. Now listen to this Pantera track and you'll see what I mean. You see? It's the same principle we heard in one of the earlier examples. Now that you've got a better understanding, let's revisit that. There you have it. As long as that 4th degree major chord is present, we're safely in the Dorian zone. Here's something fun. I'll play a Devin Townsend song, and I want you to figure out where the Dorian sound pops up. So this will serve as a milestone of your comprehension. I'm confident that you can now point to the exact moment and say, there, that's the Dorian. That's the one. So listen closely. You see? Congratulations! You're now one step closer to mastering harmony. And if you watched other Dark Industry videos from the Metal Music Theory series, you already know that I always include these A-B comparisons, right, to sharpen your listening skills. So, this video's goal is to do it once more. Now, I'll take the liberty of bending Devin's song out of shape a little bit, flattening that raised 6 back to its minor position. So this way, you'll have the example in Dorian and the other example in minor. Listen carefully and see if you can tell which is which. there's something I always tell my students, and I'll say it again. Music is incredibly sensitive. Change just one note, and you can transform the entire world of sound. And this was the proof of it. To wrap things up, there are a few questions I can't provide a direct answer to. I know some of you might ask right now, okay, why the Dorian fourth? Why can't I just play any chord that simply includes the signature Dorian tone and ring it out? Well, the simple answer is because the fourth degree sounds the best. In the 19th century, a group of composers got intrigued by so-called post-tonal modality. After tonality was originally established in the 17th century, they wanted to break the paradigm and bring modality back. And they maxed it out. Composers like Chopin, Edvard Grieg, Tchaikovsky, Modest Mussorgsky, Smetana, these are the guys of such great caliber that no metal musician can compare to them. They're just giants. And when we analyzed their work at Faculty of Music, we found that in about 95% of cases they simply used the major chord on the fourth Dorian to express it. That's just how things work in Dorian. They tried other chords, but realized that 6 degrees, the augmented 5/3 chord, and sounds terrible, so they said, no way, let's make it simple. Fourth degree works like a charm, and Metallica simply followed it. In reality, 9 out of 10 times modal music is expressed with basic simple triads, 5/3 chords. Why? Because that's all it needs to sound truly modal. The scale-based harmonies that create the unique flavor, the ones you can't find in any other scale, but in Dorian, it simply works. That's it. I'll leave you with this thought. The bright sound of Dorian is one of the reasons we don't hear it often in metal. Metal thrives on darkness. So if you haven't already, check out my videos on the Phrygian chord and the tritone. Those are the real bringers of darkness in metal, the core of its sound and the true heavyweights of the genre. But where there are conventions, there are also ways to break them. And Dark Industry has you covered on both. So family, until next time, I hope this knowledge serves you well. Stay tuned to this channel for more darkness coming your way, and stay heavy.